You have probably felt it before. That quiet, nagging voice in the back of your mind whispering that maybe, just maybe, you need to be a little different to keep her. Maybe if you just changed this one thing about yourself, she would finally see your worth. Maybe if you were more of what she wanted, less of what you are, you could finally have the love you have been chasing. It is a dangerous thought, and it is a thought that has led more men down a path of quiet resentment and slow self-destruction than almost any other. So many men change themselves for a woman. It is disheartening to witness. They convince themselves that this is the path to getting what they want, that by molding themselves into her ideal, they will secure her affection and finally find happiness. They tell themselves it is all just a matter of perspective, that her demands are reasonable, that they just need to do better. But let me tell you something that might save you years of heartache. Anything you have to change yourself for in ways that do not align with who you truly are, that is not a prize waiting for you at the finish line. It is a trap. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus understood this centuries ago when he warned, "If you are ever tempted to look for outside approval, realize that you have compromised your integrity. If you need a witness, be your own." This is not just ancient wisdom. It is a psychological truth that plays out in relationships every single day. When you compromise your integrity for the sake of keeping someone, you are not winning her love. You are losing yourself. And the cost of that loss is far greater than any temporary affection could ever justify. The Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius, who had the entire world at his feet, still recognized the danger of seeking validation from others. He wrote, "I have often wondered how it is that every man loves himself more than all the rest of men, and yet sets less value on his own opinion of himself than on the opinion of others." Think about how absurd that is. You love yourself more than anyone else, yet you value what others think of you more than what you think of yourself. That is the root of the problem. That is why you are willing to shrink yourself, change yourself, and abandon yourself for the approval of someone who may not even truly see you. Imagine this scenario. You are in a relationship, or perhaps you are pursuing one. She tells you that she does not like something about you. Maybe it is your sense of humor. Maybe it is the way you spend your free time. Maybe it is your relationship with your family or your friends. She says, "If you really cared about me, you would change this." And because you want to keep her, because you fear being alone, because you have convinced yourself that she is the one, you start to consider it. You start to think, maybe she is right. Maybe I do need to change. But here is the question you are not asking yourself. Would she change for you? Would she give up something she loves? Something that is part of who she is, just to keep you? Probably not. And that asymmetry is the first sign that you are in a relationship that is not built on mutual respect. Marcus Aurelius also offered this powerful insight. It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinions than our own. This is the paradox that traps so many men. They love themselves. They know who they are deep down, but they care more about what she thinks of them than what they think of themselves. And so they betray themselves, little by little, until one day they look in the mirror and do not recognize the person staring back. That is the greatest tragedy of all. Losing yourself will feel like the greatest betrayal of all time because you will never trust yourself again. Your body will know that you actively betrayed it. Your mind will know that you are not even safe with yourself. The number one person who is supposed to stand up for you, to take care of you, to provide you with the best that you can achieve, that person is you. Do not disappoint yourself. Do not fall for the trap of loneliness or nostalgia or whatever it is that makes you believe you need to change to stay with someone. The philosopher Seneca, another pillar of Stoic thought, understood the importance of facing yourself honestly. He wrote, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself." Facing yourself is the real test, not impressing others. Adversity reveals who you are. It forces you to confront your values, your boundaries, and your sense of self. When a woman demands that you change, that is an adversity. It is a test. And the way you respond to that test reveals everything about your character. If you fold, if you abandon yourself to keep her, you are proving to yourself that you are not to be trusted. But if you stand firm, if you say, "I like myself, and I am not changing this part of who I am," You are proving to yourself that you are a man of integrity. And that self-respect is something no one can ever take from you. Epictetus also taught, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. You do not need to justify who you are. You do not need to explain why you enjoy your hobbies, why you love your family, why you have the friends you have. You do not need to convince anyone that your way of being is valid. You simply need to live it. And if someone cannot accept that, if someone needs you to be different to be with them, then they are not the right person for you. It is that simple. The wrong puzzle piece will never solve the puzzle. It might be a puzzle piece, but it is not the missing piece for this puzzle. It goes both ways. Never try to change to be what each other needs. You will both end up resenting each other. You will hate your life. God forbid you have a child together, and then there is all this different kind of weird envy and resentment, but also a weird attachment that now you are stuck with. It is a recipe for misery. Consider how hard it is to change yourself. Apply that same difficulty to other people. We cannot even make ourselves wake up when our alarm goes off. We cannot make ourselves eat healthy for a year straight. But we expect someone to change their entire personality for us, or we expect to change our entire personality for them. It does not work that way. The same way you cannot change yourself ultimately to be what she wants, you cannot force her to be what you need. Do not try to make it fit. It will not work. The pain of letting go is temporary. The pain of losing yourself is permanent. There is a specific trap that many men fall into, and it is insidious. When you finally stand up for yourself, when you say, no, I am not changing, she might actually like you more. She might pipe down for a little while. But do not be fooled. Someone who has already communicated to you that there is something about you they do not like is not going to change. They are not going to suddenly decide that the thing they hated is now acceptable. They might tolerate it for a while, but the resentment will build. And eventually, it will surface again. The only way to avoid this cycle is to be clear from the beginning. Do not tolerate snide remarks. Do not tolerate passive-aggressive comments about your life. Do not tolerate demands to change who you are. The moment you hear a hint of resentment, the moment you sense that she does not respect your choices, leave. Not in a mean way. Not aggressively. Just be honest. We are a mismatch. I am not changing myself. I like myself. It is better to lose a lover than to love a loser. That does not mean she is a loser in general. But in your life, if she does not like you, if she wants you to be someone else, then she is a loser for you. I have seen way too many people waste their life and then end up bitter for the rest of their existence. They blame the other person forever. Oh, they tricked me. This is not what I signed up for. I was just so in love. No. Take the accountability now. Do the hard work now. Do not wait until you are 10 years into a marriage, resentful and trapped, to realize that you should have walked away when you first felt the pressure to change. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus was clear about what is in our control and what is not. Another person's opinion about you belongs to the class of things that are not in your control. So why would you make your happiness dependent on it? Why would you change who you are to fit someone else's preferences when their preferences are outside your control? It is a fool's errand. The only thing you can control is your own choices, your own integrity, and your own actions. When you compromise those for someone else, you are giving away the only thing that truly belongs to you. I am a polarizing person. I have been that way my whole life. People either love me or they cannot stand me. I am just polarizing. And people have often wanted me to change, to be a certain way that they find more palatable. But I never do that. I never change. Not because I am stubborn, but because I have made peace with the fact that not everyone is going to like me. And that is fine. Be okay being not liked. Be okay walking away from people. I taught myself long ago to leave the second I sense resentment from someone. The second I hear a little snide remark, I am gone. I do not tolerate these things from people. Yeah, it sucks to lose someone. But you know what sucks even worse? Losing yourself. Seneca wrote that no one can take your dignity. You can only surrender it. That is a profound truth. Your dignity, your self-respect, your values, these are things that belong to you. No one can force you to give them up. You have to choose to surrender them. And when you change yourself for someone else, when you shrink yourself to fit their expectations, You are surrendering your dignity. You are handing over your self-respect. And once you do that, you will never get it back in the same way, because you will always know that you were willing to betray yourself for someone else's approval. That knowledge will eat at you. It will make you bitter. It will make you resentful. And that bitterness and resentment will poison every relationship you have from that point forward. The great irony is that when you refuse to change, when you stand firm in who you are, you become more attractive. Not because you are trying to be, but because you are authentic. Authenticity is magnetic. People are drawn to those who know themselves and are unapologetic about it. Women, in particular, are drawn to men who are grounded, who have a strong sense of self, who cannot be easily manipulated. That is the greatest confidence tip I can give you. Be okay with who you are. Be okay with being yourself. And if someone does not like that, let them go. There are billions of people in the world. You do not need to hold on to the one who wants you to be someone else. You will find someone who appreciates you for exactly who you are. But you will never find that person if you are too busy pretending to be someone else. There is a deeper psychological layer here as well. When you compromise your identity for a relationship, you are sending a signal to your own subconscious that you are not worthy of love as you are. That is a devastating message to internalize. It creates a cycle of low self-worth that perpetuates itself. You change to get love, but the love you get is for the person you are pretending to be. So you feel like you have to keep pretending, keep performing, keep shrinking. And the real you, the one who deserved love all along, stays hidden, starving for validation that never comes. This is why so many people end up in relationships where they feel empty, even though they have everything they thought they wanted. They won the prize. They got the girl. But the prize was hollow because it was built on a foundation of deception. Not deception of her, but deception of yourself. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus also offered this guidance. Hold to your true aspirations no matter what is going on around you. Stay true to yourself. That is the core of Stoic wisdom. No matter what is happening in your life, no matter who is pressuring you to change, no matter what the world tells you that you should be, hold to your true aspirations. Do not let anyone else define your path. Do not let anyone else tell you who you should be. You are the only one who gets to decide that. And if you are not sure who you are yet, that is okay. The process of self-discovery is a lifelong journey. But do not let someone else's preferences dictate the direction of that journey. You are the one who has to live with yourself at the end of the day. Make sure you can look in the mirror and respect the person looking back at you. I have seen too many men waste their lives trying to be what someone else wanted. They end up bitter, resentful, and alone, even when they are in a relationship. They are alone because they abandoned themselves. They are bitter because they know they betrayed their own values. And they are resentful because they blame the other person for their own choices. Do not be that man. Take accountability now. Do the hard work now. It is better to be alone and true to yourself than to be in a relationship and lose yourself. Loneliness is hard. I know that. But loneliness is temporary. Losing yourself is permanent. When you lose yourself, you lose your sense of direction. You lose your sense of purpose. You lose the very thing that makes you who you are. And without that, you cannot build a meaningful relationship with anyone, because you have nothing to offer. You are empty. The Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart." But there is a caveat. You must love them as they are, and you must allow them to love you as you are. If you have to change to be with someone, fate is not bringing you together. You are forcing something that does not belong. Accept that. Let it go. The pain of doing this will not even compare to the joy of a life of freedom to be yourself and live your truest path of happiness. Freedom is the goal. Freedom to be yourself. Freedom to pursue your own happiness. Freedom to live in alignment with your own values. That is what Stoicism teaches us. That is what life is about. Do not trade that freedom for the temporary comfort of a relationship that requires you to be someone else. Seneca wrote, "People who know no self-restraint lead stormy and disordered lives, passing their time in a state of turmoil." When you are constantly changing yourself to please others, you are living a stormy and disordered life. You are in a state of turmoil because you are always trying to figure out what version of yourself you need to be in any given moment. That is exhausting. It is unsustainable. It will break you eventually. The only way to find peace is to be consistent. To be the same person no matter who you are with. To have a core that does not shift based on external circumstances. That is what it means to have self-restraint. That is what it means to be a man of integrity. And that is what it means to be truly free. When you finally stand up for yourself, when you refuse to change, when you let go of the people who do not accept you, something remarkable happens. You start to attract people who appreciate you for who you actually are. You stop wasting time on relationships that are destined to fail. You start building connections that are genuine and lasting. And you start to feel a sense of peace that you have never felt before. Because you are no longer performing. You are no longer pretending. You are simply being. And that is the greatest gift you can give yourself. The philosopher Epictetus also said, "Do not try to seem wise to others. If you want to live a wise life, live it on your own terms and in your own eyes." This is the essence of authenticity. Do not try to impress anyone. Do not try to be what anyone else wants you to be. Live your life on your own terms. Judge yourself by your own standards. If you can do that, you will never need anyone else's approval. And that is true freedom. That is the freedom that comes from within. And that is the freedom that makes you truly attractive to others. Because when you are free, you are not needy. When you are not needy, you are not desperate. When you are not desperate, you are not trying to manipulate or control. You are simply present. And that presence is magnetic. I want you to think about the people in your life who you genuinely respect. Are they people who changed themselves to fit in? Or are they people who stood firm in who they are, even when it was difficult? I suspect it is the latter. We respect people who have integrity. We respect people who do not compromise their values for the sake of approval. We respect people who are willing to stand alone if necessary. That is the kind of person you want to be. That is the kind of person that others will respect and admire. And that is the kind of person who will attract a partner who truly loves them for who they are. Never change yourself for a woman. Never change yourself for anyone. If it is a quality of yours that you like, that you do not see a problem with, then keep it. If she hates that you enjoy gaming, then keep the games and get rid of her. If she hates that you spend time with your family, then keep your family and get rid of her. If she hates that you have friends, then keep your friends and get rid of her. It does not have to be in a mean way. You do not need to be aggressive or rude. Just be honest. We are a mismatch. I am not changing myself. I like myself. And then walk away. It will hurt. It will be difficult, but it will be worth it. Because what you are saving is yourself. And that is the most important thing you will ever save. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught, focus not on what he or she does, but on keeping your own integrity intact. This is the discipline you must cultivate. When she criticizes you, when she demands that you change, when she makes you feel like you are not enough, do not focus on her. Focus on yourself. Focus on keeping your integrity intact. Do not let her actions dictate your response. Do not let her words shake your sense of self. You are the only one who gets to decide who you are, and you are the only one who gets to decide whether you will change. Do not give that power away to anyone else. If this message resonates with you, if you recognize yourself in any part of this, I want you to take a moment to reflect. Are you currently in a situation where you are being asked to change? Are you shrinking yourself to fit someone else's expectations? Are you betraying your own values for the sake of a relationship? If so, I need you to hear this. You are worth more than that. You are worth being loved for who you actually are. You do not need to be someone else to be deserving of love. The right person will love you as you are. The wrong person will ask you to be someone else. Choose wisely. Choose yourself. Because at the end of the day, you are the only person you can truly count on. You are the only person who will always be there. So make sure that person is someone you respect. Make sure that person is someone you can trust. Make sure that person is someone you are proud to be. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.